Praise God. Thanks for stopping by. Holiness in television. Television and movies. This is a major area of concern in our day with respect to the lust of the eyes. As Christians, we have decided not to own a television set or go to movies for the following reasons. So many different types of sin are portrayed on the screen, and according to Psalms 101:3, we cannot place any wicked thing in front of our eyes. Romans 1:32 teaches that people who take pleasure in watching others sin are just as guilty as the doers. Television is not conducive to Christian living. First, let us consider the kinds of things that are displayed on the screen. Violence and sex are the two most common topics. Immodest clothing, assault, idolatry, fornication, lying, hatred, cursing, drinking, smoking, and murder are among the evils shown almost constantly. This sounds remarkably like the list of things in Matthew 15:19 through 20 which defile a man. Practically all the programming consists in portraying or endorsing activities in which Christians cannot participate. Surely the scriptures which say, "I will set no wicked thing before my eyes, and abstain from all appearance of evil, and let the meditations of my heart be acceptable," are all applicable here. If they do not apply to television, then it is impossible to think of any situation where they would apply. How can we profess to hate evil if we indulge in watching these scenes? How can we avoid the condemnation of Romans 1:32 on all those who take pleasure in watching others sin? Let us spell out some of the spiritual effects of watching television. The viewer is constantly bombarded with evil scenes and ungodly behavior. This evil goes directly from the eyes to the heart or mind. What is the result? The basic resistance to sin in the life of a Christian is undermined. The mind is constantly being tempted and encouraged to sin. By seeing sin being repeated over and over, the mind gradually comes to the conclusion that it is not so bad after all. Television viewers subconsciously assume that society in general is similar to what they see on the screen and that everyone else is living like that. This leads to compromising and permissive attitude. Furthermore, it is a well-known fact in psychology that TV is a form of escapism. The mind subconsciously identifies with the actors and plays their roles as a means of escaping the drudgery of life. Consider how much a person's mind is being polluted by participating in the type of scenes presented on TV. In summary, television is a constant source of temptation and pollution of the heart or mind. It gradually erodes defenses and alters attitudes towards sin through a form of subconscious brainwashing. It entertains the carnal mind and feeds the lusts of the flesh. The conclusion is inescapable that constant TV viewing will completely destroy spirituality. In addition to all this, television is a waste of time. A person can be drawn to watch it hour after hour. However, it teaches the viewer practically nothing of value about real life. It only introduces artificial lifestyles and false values. Television has a lure and attraction, but after watching it for a long time, the viewer often realizes how useless it is and how he has wasted his time. In short, television can be a form of addiction. it certainly fits the definition of vanity, something useless, worthless, and destitute of reality. It is this type of thing David referred to when he said, "Turn away my eyes from beholding vanity." Findings of psychologists and educators. Now that we have discussed the spiritual evils of television, consider the effects of this environment on a child. One study found that the average American child spends 4 hours a day watching television. By the time a child starts school, he has spent more time watching TV than he will spend in college classroom. TV is used as a babysitter in many homes. We see how dangerous this is when we realize that personality, morals, and values of adults are formed primarily in early childhood. Television is the best way to teach your child how to sin. It is the easiest way to introduce him to lust and violence. It encourages him to sin and to break the law, suggesting new ways of doing so. It teaches the child that what he sees on the screen is normal, that this is what life is really like. Even if you feel that you are strong enough to completely ignore temptation, a faulty assumption in itself, your child definitely is not. A child is even more susceptible to the brainwashing, compromise process just described. Psychologists, sociologists, and other concerned individuals have begun research on the effects of television on the human mind, especially in the mind of the child. Here is a list of findings taken from 3 recent studies. Notice that these were written from a scientific, not a religious standpoint. These are not our opinions, but findings of experts in their fields. Even so, they have discovered the power and the danger of television. As you read about the powerful influence of television, keep in mind the constant temptation and evil which is present on the screen. The spiritual threat of TV combined with its psychological power is what makes it so evil. God bless.